Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here.
A whole lot of ways I can get my cash up. Nigga, you ain't got no backup. You should back up.
Yes, I've chopped my hair. I literally went yesterday. I probably chopped like 6 inches, probably more. And I haven't had short hair in forever, but it's a change. Change is good, and I'm honestly not mad about it. So, as you guys can tell by the title of this video, today's video is going to be talking all about nursing and my program in particular. For those of you who don't know, I'm a freshman at the University of Ottawa, and basically ever since I started to post nursing vlogs and talk about my nursing journey, I've received a significant amount of questions asking me about how I like my program, how I got in, what the admission requirements are, tuition fees, and all that good stuff. So I figured I would make that video to answer all those questions and more for anybody who has been wondering. I know that the university applications have now opened, at least in Canada, and I know people have started to think about what schools they want to apply to, what programs they want to look at and consider. So I really wanted to make sure I got this video out before that deadline came so that you guys would have enough time to really decide whether nursing is for you or not. So I have this booklet over here. This is the programs and admissions booklet, and it also talks about financing your studies. This is for 2019 at the University of Ottawa, and I actually did refer to this a little bit last year, but the information doesn't really change drastically from year to year anyway. Also, the information that I'm going to talk about today for the most part is going to be available on the University of Ottawa website, in that booklet, or on any other website online that talks about like university programs and admissions. I'm going to also talk about my personal experiences and give you guys tips and tricks of things that I figured out by learning, or things that I sort of wish I knew before applying, and all of that fun stuff. So I'm going to talk about my prerequisite courses, what you need to even be considered at the University of Ottawa for nursing, the average that you're going to need, the finance part, so fees and tuition costs, and just all that stuff and more. So if you're interested in knowing all that tea and all the information about nursing at the University of Ottawa, then keep on watching. I'm going to start off with sort of breaking down a little bit about like what you need if you're applying from high school. That's what I did, so I can't really talk about if you're gonna be a mature student or whatnot, but for me in particular, I did apply straight from high school. I go to high school in Ontario, Canada. The way our education system works in high school is you either have college level courses or university level courses. I feel like it's pretty self-explanatory, but in order to apply to university, your courses need to be at the university level. In my province, the course codes end with a U if they're university and C if they're college. Pretty self-explanatory, right? Then you also have some courses which are M, which is like the mixed level. It's basically a level in between college and university level courses, but some universities do accept certain mixed level courses as well, just depending on the university and the program. If you don't have all university level courses, that doesn't mean you can't do nursing at all, but in order to do your Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, which is what I'm doing at uOttawa, you need to have all your courses at the U level. Otherwise, you can do it at like a college or something and then make your way through to the bachelor's after time and through bridging and all that stuff. But I'm not going to be talking about that here. I'm just talking about the bachelor's. Okay, so you're taking university level courses. Now you want to know what are the prerequisites that you need to even be considered in nursing. I'm pretty sure this goes for most of the universities in Canada. Maybe not like the universities in like the Maritimes and stuff. It might be a little bit different, but at least here you need top 6 university level courses, including your prereqs. So for nursing, your prereqs are your grade 12 university level bio, grade 12 university level chem, grade 12 university level English, any grade 12 or grade 11 math at the university level or mixed level. And then the other 2 can be any of your 2 highest university level courses, if that makes sense. So the courses that I took were the chem, the bio, and the English, all at 4U, so grade 12 university level. And then I actually got accepted off of my grade 11 mixed math, which I know not every school offers that, but I'm really fortunate that my school did, because that is what I got accepted into nursing with. So because I got accepted off of my grade 11 math, they then took the rest of my 3 courses as the top 3, like 11 electives, I guess, if that makes sense. So instead of looking at a grade 12 math, because I didn't take one since I already got accepted off grade 11 math, I had world issues, challenge and change, and link group, and that made my 6 university level courses, including prerequisites for nursing. Now let's say your grade 11 marks maybe aren't that good in the math department. That's okay. You can take any grade 12 math that you want and you can try with that, and you can get your offer of admission based on your grade 12 marks if they're higher than your grade 11 marks if you didn't get accepted from your grade 11 math. I literally suck at explaining. I hope that made sense. Now in terms of averages, it's very confusing and there's going to be a lot of different things that people tell you, but I'm just going to tell you how it is based off my book and based off my own experience. So basically nursing at uOttawa is split into 3 campuses. So you have the main campus, which is downtown. You have Woodruff, which is if you're doing a collab with Algonquin College, and then there's Pembroke, which is also a collab with Algonquin College. Before I get a little bit more into like averages and stuff, I want to sort of talk about campuses and everything like that, because I know this is a question a lot of people have. Nursing is a very competitive program, and it's also a hands-on program. So they have these collab programs that work with a college. That doesn't mean that you're not gonna still get a university degree if you're doing a collab program. You're still gonna get a BSN or BSCN or whatever it's called. You're still gonna end up getting your Bachelor's of Science in Nursing, whether you do it directly through just uOttawa or whether you do it through a collab program. It doesn't matter, but the uOttawa main campus does have the highest admission average. The Ottawa campus says mid to high 80s, and then the Algonquin College Woodruff campus, which is a collab program, says low to mid 80s, and then Algonquin College Pembroke campus is high 70s to low 80s, and that's also a collab program. Now I want to say, I don't think you guys should just go by this book and be like, okay, well it says mid to high 80s, well I have an 86 average, I'm going to get accepted to the main campus, because that's not the case. I'm pretty sure this goes for like most programs, but nursing is really competitive, and it honestly just depends on the pool of applicants of that year or for that semester or like whatever it may be. So for example, even if it says that the average for the Ottawa main campus, which is downtown, is going to be mid to high 80s, well if you have a bunch of people applying with like 95, 96, 97 averages, well all the seats are going to get filled up by those people first. If all your seats get filled by like 90 plus average or whatever it may be, well just because the book said mid 80s to high 80s doesn't mean you're guaranteed a spot. If everybody applying has higher averages and the seats get filled by them, then you're probably not gonna get admitted to that program just because of the pool of applicants. They had higher averages and the seats just got filled up by them, if that makes sense. So I recommend that you guys apply to all 3 campuses if you are really passionate and you really want to get the degree and you really want to like go through uOttawa and everything. I did not actually apply to the main campus until like later on into the new year, and that was my bad because the seats were already filled by then, and then I wasn't even considered. So I did apply to collab in the beginning of the year, right when the applications opened, because it wasn't even my first choice. I just put it in as a 3rd choice, but I ended up choosing nursing. If you really want to get on the main campus, apply right when applications open, because that's when there's going to be a smaller pool of applicants with higher averages, because you know some people apply like later on, or if you're like me, I applied within the new year, so that was really hard because most seats were filled. So try to like apply as soon as possible, because then you'll have a higher chance of actually getting accepted, because then it'll get more competitive as time goes on. Don't really know if that makes any sense, but the Pembroke campus, I believe a lot of the lectures and stuff are online, and I'm pretty sure you don't go to the uOttawa, like the downtown campus at all. I could be wrong, but Woodruff, which is a collab, you are basically at uOttawa 1st and 2nd year with a couple classes at the college, and then 3rd and 4th year you are primarily at the college for your labs and your clinicals and just stuff like that. I hope I covered that properly. Just aim higher than what it's telling you. If you really want to get on the main campus, I'd recommend aiming for at least a 90 average, and you'll have like a way better chance of getting accepted than if you actually had like mid to high 80s. You know what I mean? It all just depends on the pool of applicants. It's confusing, but I hope that made sense. I'm gonna now talk about tuition and fees. So I'm not gonna give out like how much I pay and stuff, because that's a little bit personal, and just for privacy reasons I don't really feel comfortable sharing that, but I will kind of give you guys like a general idea of what it's like. There's estimated costs on this page, and I'm gonna just sort of talk about those. So for most faculties, tuition and incidental fees can range anywhere from like $7,500 to $10,000 per 2 terms, which is 1 year. On top of that, you are gonna get a transit pass, which is a U pass. So Ottawa's a big city. A lot of us rely on public transit to get to and from school, including me. So you have a U pass, which is about $400. Here it says $415 for every single person, any student in whichever faculty. You can opt out of it if you are not going to be taking the bus or if you have your own car, but I would recommend getting a U pass. You will use it a lot more than you think. So textbooks and school supplies, it depends, but most faculties say that it'll come to about $1,600 per year. But if you're like me, you can save money and buy used textbooks. A lot of the times, like, used textbooks are good enough. I wouldn't recommend that you buy your textbooks until like your first week of classes, where you get your syllabus and your prof tells you if your textbook is actually required or not. So housing, it just depends. I live in Ottawa, so like I don't live on res and I don't have an apartment. Like, I live with my parents, so I'm saving a lot of money in that aspect. But if you're somebody who's coming from outside of the city, then you have a couple of options in terms of housing. You can do traditional or like traditional plus residence. I can't really give all the info on res because I don't live on res, but what's here in front of me, in traditional residence, it can be from $8,000 to $13,000 a year. For an apartment style res, which is for 12 months, it'll be about $11,000 to $19,000 a year. For a suite or studio at 90 University, 90U is a really nice res, but it's expensive. It's about $13,000 to $14,000 a year, and then a suite or studio in Friel is about $7,000 to $10,000 a year. And if you have an off-campus apartment, which I know like a couple people who do that and they saved a lot of money as opposed to living on res, it could be around $6,000 or more per year, but you do save a lot more money if you live off of res. Some residences offer meal plans as being like required. Like, basically you have to have a meal plan if you live at that certain res. You can have a 5-day meal plan, which is about $5,000, or a 7-day meal plan, which is like just like $300, $400 more. If you decide to get a meal plan, cool. If you don't, like, it is what it is. Groceries, they say, will cost you about $3,400 a year approximately, but keep in mind these are just estimates. So if you are like actually looking into it and housing and stuff, go and take your time, go on the website and stuff like that. Now, there is financial assistance available. You can get an admission scholarship, so it'll be from $1,000 to $4,000 depending on what your average is. If you have an 80 to 84.9 average, that's $1,000. 85.89.9 is $2,000. 90 to 94.9 is $3,000, and 95 to 100 is $4,000, and that is for the entire year. So if you have an $1,000 admission scholarship, that's $500 one semester, $500 the other. If you are applying to nursing, you're gonna get at least $1,000. It's nice because it'll be deducted from your tuition, so you have less to pay from your pocket or from your education plan or however you decide to pay for school. You can also get an education bursary or a French studies bursary. So uOttawa does offer nursing in French immersion, so if you decide to do French immersion, you will also get an extra $1,000 on top of that per year, so $500 a semester like I just previously mentioned. And then there's a lot of other scholarships as well that you can get, some that are suited just to your faculty or some that might be for anybody to apply to, but you can go on like a bunch of websites that offer scholarships and stuff that you can apply for. I recommend it. You really have nothing to lose, and especially if you're grade 12 going into university, I recommend it because I feel like you guys probably have the most scholarships to choose from, being seniors in high school. You can also have co-op. It says here on average, if you have a paid placement, you're gonna get about $9,600 a year. Nursing, we don't have co-op, but we have clinicals. I have yet to find out if it's paid or if it's volunteer, but regardless, you're getting hands-on experience, which is really good because that's what makes nursing so valuable, I feel like, because you get the hands-on experience and then you're basically thrown into the field right after graduation. I'm pretty sure it's like a 96% employment rate post-grad, so that's like really good. Like, that's really good. So I applied in November or something like that, but your university can accept you based off of your grade 11 marks if they meet the requirements and if your average is high enough. I had 5 university level courses, so I was like completely out of the running, so I didn't actually get my offer of admission until February 14th. 17th, Valentine's Day. So that is still considered early acceptance, but that's like when I got my offer, and then I literally accepted it like 3 or 4 days or something like that before the deadline, just because I was kind of going back and forth between like my programs and everything like that. But I decided on nursing, and I'm really happy that I did. That's basically it. I hope I was able to answer most of the questions, if not all, that you guys had for me. I suck at explaining, but I really did try my best to cover everything in as much depth as possible and really give out like the important information. If you guys have any more questions, do not hesitate to contact me on Instagram. You can shoot me a DM. I love talking to you guys on there and like helping you guys out. You can also leave me a comment down below or on my community tab. I'm very active there as well. But that's all from me, and I will see you guys in the next one.